Hello, Trinh. What I have now is I've worked on this little device, and I've added a serial interface. Again, this is the only part I'm adding to it. This is taking. I've disconnected the one internal, and I'm using an external one. And when I'm done, I'm going to program this one, and then all I have to do is put this inside of the box, and then I'll have a serial interface. It's working right now, and I'm going to show you that it's working. I think it's pretty neat to see this actually work. So all I have to do is turn this on. See if I can get the best view of this. So it comes up right now, and normally it works like it's supposed to. I had to write a program for this device, and I had to write a driver to control connecting to the serial interface as well. So I have to make sure everything still functions, normal as it would normally. But I added another feature, and I also have this too, which still has the self test. But I added another feature, which is now I can press the pound button, pound sign, and or they call hashtag, and now it will go into a serial mode. So now when it's in serial mode, what happens is I can come up here and connect with the computer, and it's basically already connected. All I have to do is send a few commands. So I'm going to send this. This is my first set of commands right here. The first one is here. That'll be for the first relay. So I'll copy and I'll just paste it over here and press return. And you can see that it has done something. It's turned one of them on and it's moving. I'll go ahead and send another command so you can see that it's actually working. So now what I'm doing is I'm going through a serial interface. And that's pretty neat. So I'll just keep going through these really quick and let you watch as it goes through. It takes long because I'm having to, send these commands one at a time over here through a command prompt. This is the software I wrote. This executable that I'm calling, and then I'm sending this command. I made my own small little communication protocol, and what it means is test point one, two, three, and four, and it's mode A. And what you see is, now I'm going to go into mode B, and what you'll notice is that the relays act in a different way. So now only one of them is switching when before two of them were changing at the same time. So this would be what you call common mode, where the negative lead would be on the common relay, the one that always stays on. And the reasons a person would do this is in case you have a place where you're taking a measurement and they're not always using a ground. They're measuring across a different point that's not ground. Or maybe you'd be using this, you'd be performing four tests at the same time, with four different devices. And you could actually run four tests and then, run one device and measure, run another device, measure, and you could have four devices run at the same time. There's a lot of different things you can do. I also have the self test on here. And then I also have, where and I'll go and run the self test again from up here. And you'll see I'm press the button here and it goes right into it. So you can see that it's actually working on the computer and with this device as well. It's connected through the USB interface. I have where I can go to the main menu, and I also have where I can turn the serial interface off. Serial interface off. And now the serial interface is off. And now, if I send a command from up here, it will not work anymore because the serial communication port is off now. So press return. It doesn't do anything because there's no communication whatsoever. If I turn the serial port interface on again, that, and now I send that same command, now it will work again. So that's just showing you that it works. Again, all I did was I'm just adding this new device, but it's a UART. That's all it is. So I don't need the whole device. Just the UART part of it, and that's what I'm going to do next. Another part that I'm going to show you with this to show you that it's working. I'll go ahead and close this interface. This is just a prompt, command prompt. I made some batch files, so I can control these. There's one. There's another one. And the reason I made these batch files is that they can work with the functional test that I created. And the batch files are actually really small, and all they're doing is calling that same program that I have running, and it's running that same command. But I have a 2 second break, and I'm seeing an exit code, and this exit code is going to be really important to say whether it passes or fails or whatever we want to do with that exit code. This is where I turn all of the outputs off, and that is what I use with this test right here. Now I'm going to show you something really neat with this one. I don't really need this part of it. What I can do is go to the functional test, which is down here. And I'll go to my results. And what you're going to see is I'll go ahead and delete these. And it's going to create new files. And these are for a functional test if I run a functional test. So to prove that, what you'll see is there's no files in here whatsoever. As soon as I run the test, it's going to create a new file when it finishes. So I'll just name the first one 13342. That'll be the first serial number. And I'll go ahead and start the test. So, I mean, I created this test for it to run, and it's calling those same batch files I just showed you. So, first one, it turns it on. And then it asks me, did I hear a response? I'll say yes. So it turns it off, turns the next one on, runs a batch file, and it runs the test. And it asks me if I, heard a response. I'm going to say yes again. I'll say yes again. Now I wrote this software. This is a functional test I wrote, and I've proven I can reuse this functional test over and over again for different purposes. So I think that's pretty neat. I made it where it has all kinds of things that I can import and export tests, and it shows my files that I have over here. So these are all the ones I've created. Um, I can import and export. I mean, if I import, I'll bring one in. If I export, I'll select a file, and let's say I want to take this one. I'll say open, and it puts it into the export folder. So now I open the export folder. I'll say export file. Say yes. I'll go into the export folder, and now it shows you that I have 3 files inside that export folder. I think that's pretty neat. Then it also has, where I can create my own test plans. So I can create these. These are the ones I've created. I can create a new one, or I can edit the one I have. That's the one I currently have. It goes into an area where I can edit this. I can add new test cases to it and remove test cases from it. I can add sequences. I can make it a default project. I can do all kinds of things with it. But before I go too far into this, I want to go right back to the functional test. But this time, I want to select a different one that I created for this, and that's going to be the mode B. I want to show you mode B is working as well. And this one, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this one 33557, like that. And I'll just put an A in there. Another thing you mentioned, this one already created the CSV file, just so you'll see that. I'll go ahead and run through this one, and this one is when it's in the common mode, so only one relay moves. And to prove it's working, I mean, you can see the relay is actually moving as I run through the test. So I'll say yes. It's important that it turns them off to show you that nothing's connected when it's switching between channels or measurements. So I'll say yes. So it turns them off, turns them back on, and then goes to the next test. I think that's very important. That way you don't have anything shorting out to another, test. On this, I'm going to just say no. That way you'll see a difference in the test measurements. And on this one, I'm going to say no again after it's finished. So I'll select no again. And then I'm going to do another test on this one, 887 4RRSE, like that. These would be serial numbers. And you can see it already created a new one. It just created it. I'll go and run through this one really quick. Continue. I'll say no. I'll press yes. And that'll be, this should be the last measurement coming up. I'll go over here so you can see it actually switch the screen when I press this. So I'll say yes again on this one. Yes. And this should be the last measurement that it takes, I think. There it goes. And I'll say no on this one. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn this device off over here. Just so I turn the video off and I save that video, and now my hands are free. So what I'll do is I'll open this and I'll show you the measurements I just, or it stores to the computer my test results based on yes or no. What I want to do next is be able to read from a device, like put a voltmeter over here, take measurements from the voltmeter and record them onto the computer. These are things I've done before. It's just right now I don't have any money to do the things I normally would do. I'm waiting for someone to tell the truth so I can first, most importantly, is come back, and be your husband. But second is I got to make someone tell the truth so that I have a normal life like everyone else. And at this point, I can't make the police tell the truth. So anyway, I have a date, a timestamp, and it shows what tests were run. It shows my results. You see, I put this one. They're all pass on this one, and there's the test right there that I ran. So that's the first one. Here's the second one I took over here for the other measurement. This is the mode B. Here I put some failures in here. And I'm trying to go through this as fast as I can because I don't have a lot of time for these videos. They're very long. So here, so you can see the test name, time, and date. So here's the other dates that they just ran. Here's the time. Here's the test name right here. And then there's the project. And here's the test location, which means the test I ran. And you see the ones I said fail, they failed because I selected fail. So what this is meant to do is remove user error from people that are, running tests for corporations and stuff like that. And again, I can read and write. I can prove that here, but I can control devices, but I can read and write data as well from test equipment, so I can take the measurements and place the measurements in with these files if I wanted to as well. Anyway, I just wanted to show you where I'm at and let you know I'm doing everything I can to get back to you. I miss you so much. I miss you, Annual.